So, do you want to hear something crazy? Over the last year, I've tried selling to over a thousand of people, thousands of people, and in last month, my conversion rate was around 40%. And I want the same for you. So, this is basically my client, right? He had 30 sales calls where he closed nobody, zero people. And then I helped him with his sales, his mindset, his beliefs around sales. Now he made already over like 7K, right? And he's closing thousands of dollars. That could his offers are worth thousands. Um, the thing is, like, this is not going to be like, before you start thinking, like, this is not going to be like a webinar or some shit like that. No, I'm giving you everything that you need to know away for free in this video. All right. And the reason I'm doing that is, to be honest, it's completely selfish, because when you make money, then the next logical step for you to take will probably be to see if you would be a good fit for my program, right? You'd have more money to invest into my program. So it's completely selfish, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, man, so in this video I want to help you make more money with the same amount of leads. And if you want to watch this video to the end, you have a conversion rate of at least 30%. Sounds good? Awesome. So here's what we're going to talk about, right? We're going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about the script, objections, and confidence. And I think the script, or like the selling stage of the sales call, exists of four phases. You have the current state, you have the desired state, you have the toppings, and you have the solutions. So I'm going to explain all of these in a second, but let's just get straight into it, right? So if you want, I have like a sales script below, like a link to a sales script below with a Google Docs document. And I personally, what I did is I basically printed it out. I use that, like, I have that besides me every time I try selling. You could also just use it on your PC. Then you can like switch tabs or some shit, whatever you want, right? But anyways, then you just know there's a link below. It's also for objections, by the way. There's also a link to that. But the thing is that you need to realize you don't need to memorize the entire script. I want to give, like, I want you to view the script as something that's not a must. You don't, it's not that you need to ask all the questions. It's not some like something that you need to go through. And if you like don't don't ask one question, the entire script will fuck up or something like that. That's not how I want you to look at it. Sometimes, bro, like, I skip or add questions myself as well. It's just, I just see this as a direction. I see this as an indication. It's like, oh, this is something that you could do, and this is something that works in general, right? But it depends. So let's talk about the current state. You need to define where they are right now. What are they doing right now? How long have they been like trying to do things that way? Um, you need to also ask them if they like feel like they need to make these changes. This is very important, right? Because as you can see, this, like, you have a bridge. So as you can see here, they are here right now. They're in a place where they don't want to be. They actually want to be here. They want to achieve their goal, and your offer is the bridge that will help them achieve their goal. Your offer is the thing that will help them from the place where they are right now to where they want to be. Like, the bridge is your offer. So you need to, like, before you start pitching your offer, you need to identify where they are right now and where they want to be. You need to give, like, you need to attach numbers to this. So I'll always ask, like, how much are you making right now, or something like that, right? For imagine you're selling like weight loss, you could ask, like, oh, how much do you weigh right now, or something like that, right? um yeah, man, it's also very important to ask them like all these questions, because you need, like, if they don't feel like they need to make changes, that is a limiting belief that you need to handle before you give the price. It's better, like, this is what Alex Ramosi talks about as well. It's better to handle their objections before you give the price, instead of after you give the price. So then you have the desired state, as you can see here. You need to give this a number as well. So for I like to ask the question, where would you like to be in 6 months from now? So they always tell me like, oh yeah, I'm making $0 right now, and then I ask them like, oh, where would you like to be in 6 months from now? Let's say they say like 5k a month, right? What I then ask is, I ask them like, why do you want to make 5k a month? Well, it's because I want freedom, because I want to buy things whatever the fuck I want or something like that, right? So why do you want those things? Oh, because like, or for example, like I want to retire my parents. Why do you want to retire your parents? How would it feel like? You really need to, you need to make them like, you need to give them a vision. You want them to explain their vision to you of their desired state. So instead of telling them like, oh, it's going to be so good, like you will get this and this and this, that's not how it works. What you need to do is you need to ask them, why do you want this? And then you need to like keep asking until they describe a vision to you of where they actually want to be. So for example, like, oh, I want to go on holidays, I want to sit on the beach with a cocktail in my hand, and I want to live the lifestyle. I want to work on the beach with a laptop in my hand, knowing that whatever the fuck I do, I always make money or something like that, right? I don't know. But then you need to ask them like, what's stopping you from achieving that? Because here's the thing, right? They have a state where they are in right now. They have a desired state, but if they think they can get there on their own, which they can't because otherwise they wouldn't book a call with you, but if they think they can get there on their own, they won't buy from you. There's no reason to actually buy from you. Or at least like, it could also be that they think they can get them there themselves in like 3 years, but with your offer in like 2 months. So that's like, that's a big difference as well. So that's beneficial as well. But basically what you want is, you want them to explain to you that they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the beliefs, or that like they don't, that basically you want them to explain that they miss something. And then this is where you introduce your offer, or you don't really introduce your offer here, but you introduce yourself to the conversation basically. So imagine it's like, you have a broken bridge, you need somebody to repair it, right? um when they admit that there is a stage where they want to be, but where they can't get there on their own, what they want to do automatically is they're going to search for ways to get there, right? So now they might have like competitors in their head of who they want to, who they're considering. Imagine you want to repair a bridge, you need to repair somebody to fix a bridge. You're probably considering multiple people, right? What we want to do here is, we want to position ourselves as the only person that can get them to their desired state. So that's why you ask these questions of like, what about us made you book a call? Or do you think that if you would get XYZ, you can achieve your goal? And then why? So this is basically like, imagine you're selling a productivity program. Do you think that if you would get like, if it would help you a lot with your productivity, and you'd become one of the most productive people in the world, something like that, then would you, do you feel like you'd be able to make more money? And then they say like yes, and then you ask like why, and then you keep asking why, and they basically pitch themselves and why they believe you are the best basically to you. They pitch it to you. So, and then you, what you want to ask them as well is like, do you want me to help you achieve your goals? So they already said like, if you ask this question like, what made you book a call with us, and you ask them, do you think that these and these things will help you achieve your goals, and they say yes to those things, then of course they're going to say yes to this as well. And the powerful thing is, when you ask all these questions like what that they answer yes to, then when they say yes right now, they have a micro agreement. And what a micro agreement basically means is that when they say yes right now, they're more likely to say yes later on, because they already said it before. In my sales job that I used to be in like 6 months ago, they call this a yes flow. We basically used to ask a lot of different questions. Oh, how are you doing today? You're doing good? And then they say like yes. Oh, do you actually want to help these people? Their answer was yes. And then you just keep asking these questions. It's very kind of like you could say it's manipulative. I wouldn't really say it's manipulative. It's more like using your psychology to your advantage, right? Yeah, man, you just keep asking them questions that they can only answer yes to, and they'll buy from you. They're more likely to buy from you basically because they have already said yes to you hundreds of times before. So let's talk about fear right now. So the questions that I ask are, for example, like, so if you were to hit a stagnant point in your income goals, what would your life look like? And most of the people that I work with are not making money yet, so they would have to go to like school, university, job, all that shit, like 9 to 5. Um, then I ask them like, "Are you willing to settle and let that happen?" Of course, they're going to say no right now. Um, it's kind of funny. I just told you like you should make people be in a yes flow, but when they say no, they actually feel more in control as well. But you just need to ask closed questions basically where they can only answer yes or no, and when they say no they feel more in control, but when they say yes they're already in a yes flow basically. So are you willing to settle and let that happen? Of course they're going to say no right now. And I say there's a lot of people who want the same things as you do, right? So why is it so important to you? The reason I'm asking this is because now they actually think like, oh fuck, there are so many people that want the same as me. I need to have a competitive edge. I need to find a way to stand out from these people. And then I offer my program which helps them give a competitive advantage basically, right? So then you want to add some urgency as well. Before you add to the urgency, how many people, like how many of the people watching this have heard this before? Oh yeah, I just need to think about it. Oh, let me just ask my parents first, or let me just ask my business partner first, or let me just ask my spouse first. Why? Because there's not enough urgency. They feel like they can just buy whenever the fuck they want, right? Why would they buy right now? So this is why we ask these questions of like, why? When do you want to make this a reality, or why is this so important to make this happen for you right now? And when you ask questions like these, you add a lot of urgency. So now they have fear, they have urgency, and they feel kind of like dissatisfied because you show them where they are right now and where they could be, and and you show them that they can't get there on their own. So this is very powerful stuff, right? Now, very quickly, if you want to see how I close a client on my free school community for coaches, then join the, I don't know, I'll probably have a link in the description somewhere as well. It's just a free like school community where you can see how I close people, right? So now what you want to do is you want to offer them the solution. So you want to tell them the framework but not your offer yet. So basically, as I showed you here, now you give them a current state, you give them a desired state. They know they can't get there on their own, and they need a way out, they need a solution. And right now what you want to do is you want to give them that solution, right? um a lot of people make the mistakes, a lot of beginning salespeople make the mistake where they start pitching the calls. This is what I used to do, right? I started pitching the calls, bro. I started pitching like, oh yeah, you got six one-on-one calls with me, and then I also give like 2 courses and all that stuff. People don't care about that shit. People care about the features. I think it's called the features. Basically, people care about how you will get them there. So instead of saying like, oh yeah, I do one-on-one calls and group coaching calls and you have a community, no, what you say is, okay, so I actually want to help you, And I really feel like I understand where you are right now and where you actually want to be. But just to summarize, you're here right now and you want to get here, and you feel like the biggest thing that's holding you back is this, right? So basically, you summarize the bridge for them. Now, this does two things. One, it makes them feel like you actually listen to them. It makes them feel like you actually want to give them like that you, how do you say it, that you know where they are right now, that you really know their current situation. And the second thing is that it summarizes the bridge. It summarizes everything you just talked about, and now they feel this kind of like pain a little bit again. So what you want to do right now is you want to give them your framework, right? So you say like, oh, the first step that I want to take you on is I want to help you with your mindset. Then the second step that I want to take you on is I want to help you get leads. And then the third thing is I want to help you sell to these people, because imagine you get all these leads, but you can't sell to these people. Um, Also, you need to know that this is what I say. This is literally what I say in my sales calls most of the time, right? I say like, oh yeah, the fourth step that we actually want to take you on is I want to really help you sell to people, because you can you can do anything in the world. You can have the best program in the world, but if people don't pay you, they don't pay attention. So in order to change their lives, we want to make them pay us basically, right? And when I say that, I I say right, and then I wait, and then they say yes, oh yeah, sounds good. And then they already agreed that spending money is a good thing, basically. So that's very powerful as well. So if you're selling B2B, then I would highly recommend you do this. But imagine you're a weight loss service, right? Um, you have three steps. Have like the mindset step, a diet step, and a workout plan or something like that. What you then want to do is you want to say, all right, so the first step that I want to take you on is I want to really help you with your mindset, because I realize that a lot of people, they try and lose weight, but they don't have the right mindset to begin with. I realized that the mindset is actually the biggest thing that's holding people back from losing weight, and that's exactly the reason that I really want to transform your mindset. I want to open new perspectives, and I want to make you think about diet differently. Then the second step that I want to take you on is I really want to help you get the best diet possible for you. Now, I see a lot of people that only talk about, oh, cutting calories and all that stuff. No, I want to give you like exceptional diets, right? Like you told me your goal right now is to lose 5 kilograms in 2 months. Like this is going to be like the easiest game ever. It's probably like if you only apply this diet, it's probably more going to be like 10 kilograms. You probably lose 10 kilograms in 2 months already. But that's not everything, because what we also have is we have a complete workout program for you, perfectly designed for you. So basically what we will do is we will kind of like research into your body, and we will ask you questions, we will make you do certain exercises, and based on that we will see what workout program fits the best for you, what workout program is actually like perfect for you, because everybody gives just one standard workout program, and then it's meant to fit like everybody is doing the one size fits all. We are not like that. We don't want to be like that. We have a perfect tailored workout program for you. Now, on top of that, of course, we also have a accountability coach, which will this person will basically hold you accountable to do everything that you need to do. He will literally stop you from slacking, which means it's easy mode to lose weight. You see how I'm not pitching the calls. I'm not just saying like, oh yeah, we do 5 calls and this and that. No, I'm actually pitching how they will get there. I tell them the steps that I want to take them on. Then what I do is I transition and I ask them like, all right, so imagine you had the perfect diet that's tailored to you, and imagine you had the perfect workout program that's tailored to you. You had the accountability which helps you never ever like cheat on your diet or skip a workout. Do you think that this would work for you? Of course they're going to say yes right now. Like your steps is everything that they need to succeed, right? So of course they're going to say yes right now. And then you need to ask them, why do you think that is? This is like, I've seen nobody do this before, but to me, this is what I found as well. Like, this is what I personally split tested, and this is the best thing that I ever found to work, because now they are going to pitch themselves about why your program specifically works for them, what they like about your program. So not only do they tell you why they basically pitch themselves about why they believe in your program, but also you can see right now which are things that they like the most about your program and which things are probably less important to them. So now you can pitch the things that they like the most later on as well. So this is like a win-win-win situation, right? Yeah, man, just keep asking a couple why questions. Oh, why do you think this works? Oh, I don't know. They say like, oh, I really like the diet. Oh yeah, and I really like your accountability. And I say like, oh, why is that? Why do you like that specifically? And I say like, oh yeah, this and this and this, and then you just keep asking a little bit of questions, not too much, but just a couple of questions about why you keep just asking and asking, and then at some point I will just say like, awesome, bro. So you already said this would work for you. Would you like to know my offer? Of course, you're going to say yes right now. So then they say yes, and then I say yes. All right, awesome. And then I'll show the offer. Um, yeah, man. In the offer, I can't really tell you what to offer, because like creating an offer is a completely different game. What I do want to say is, this is where you pitch the calls. This is just very quickly say like, all right. So in order to help you get the best, like give you the best body that you ever needed, what I want to do is I want to give you 8 tailored calls for you. Like, these are going to be one-on-one calls with our diet coach, our nutrition coach, and these coaches are like have 10 years of experience in the topic of nutrition. These coaches, they've helped over thousands of people already. So you will get 8 calls with these people where they will design the perfect weight loss plan for you. Then the second thing is blah 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 blah. Just you get the point, right? And then after you pitch, you ask, "Do you have any other questions?" Um, this is where it gets tricky for some people. 'Cause most people don't know how to transition to the price. Here's what you do: you just ask, "Do you have any other questions?" Then they either come with kind of like objections, but again, these objections are easier to handle because you didn't give them the price yet. So these are like pre-objections, and these objections, you just handle them quickly. Then you just you handle it, and then you say like, oh, do you have any other questions? And then they say, oh yeah, this and this. Sometimes they don't have any questions. That could be the case as well. When they say no, you just say, all right, so would you then like to know the price? And then they say yes, and then you say, so normally it's going to be $3,000, right? But we want to reward fast decision makers. So if you buy on this call right now, it's only going to be 997. And to be honest, bro, normally I like, this is not part of the sales pitch anymore, but normally I did like these silences, right? So I dropped the price. I would say normally it's only 997. But To be honest, I realized that after these silences, I never got any results. Like people always told me, like, "Oh yeah, I got these silences. Silences did that." But I realized that when I did these silences, oh yeah, it's 997. People always came up with an objection. People always try to get off the call. Um, to be honest, I haven't tried this, right? I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't tried this script yet, but this is what I'm going to do right now. What I'm going to say. So the next step is that I will send you my calendar link, and you can immediately book an onboarding call with me. So you can so you can make money immediately in your first week. How do you feel? This is what I'm going to try right now because I want to stop this silence. Because first of all, I realize that a lot of my clients, they find it uncomfortable to have these silences, because some one guy even said to me like, "Oh yeah, this is awkward, bro. I'm just trying to say something, but I don't know what to say." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I was just waiting until you until you made a decision." But I just said that as well. But yeah, man, I don't really think most people find it uncomfortable, but I just think people are just coming up with excuses in the silence. Maybe I'm wrong, right? But this is what I'm going to try right now. So let's talk about objections, because basically all we did right now is we set ourselves up to make objections easier to handle. That's all we did. So if you want to, by the way, if you want to have a quick script to handle objections, I've got that probably linked below as well. Again, I use this for my sales calls as well, because I just don't like remembering all the objections and shit, right? I I have a script of the objections as like a second tab open, that when it comes down to these objections, I just click on there, I just go there and I just repeat what I basically read out loud what these objections are. So yeah, man. By the way, nobody tells you like to do this, but this is how I started my handling objections as well. So as I said, making it right now, it was all about making objection handlings easier. Objection handling is literally where 80 to 90% of the money is made. So how I see it is there's five objections. You have authority, so power, partner, spouse, parents, all those people, then or business partner. Then you have I need to think about it. Then you have fear. Then you have money, and then you have logistic or logic. And two are actually a smokescreen. Take a guess which ones. It's think about it and authority. Because when people say, "Oh yeah, I need to think about it," that's a lie. Because when they imagine they buy shoes, right? They're not going to say like to the person that sells shoes. They're not going to say, "Oh yeah, I need to think about buying them before I actually buy them." No, they just buy them in the store. So thinking about it in and of itself comes from things like fear or not having money or logic, right? Authority, to handle authority, this is the easiest one to handle, because basically what I do is I have a question in my Calendly. So Calendly is basically a site where people can book sales calls with me. When people book sales calls with me, they they need to answer two or three questions, and one of these questions is, are you the sole decision maker, yes or no? And when they say yes, then I can use that in the sales call. When they say no, I just say like, oh, make sure that all decision makers are on the call. I put it in the description somewhere. And this means that they I've never ever had somebody tell me like, oh yeah, I need to ask my parents first or something like that. Like maybe like two times or three times, but people already know that this is not really an excuse anymore, even though I not always look at if they answered yes or no. But anyways, so with every single first objection, this is what you ask. Do you actually feel like we can help you. And then when they say yes, you need to ask them why as well, because this is very important, right? You want to make sure that people feel like you can actually help them. If people feel like you can't even help them, there's no reason they would buy it from you. So don't say like, "Oh, do you feel like we could help you?" or like, "Maybe we can help you." No, do you feel like we can help you? Use can. This is very important. You need to have like conviction. So the first script that I want to give you is when people say, "Oh yeah, I need to think about it." Here's what you say: "Yeah, no problem." And if it's the first objection, of course you ask like, "Oh, just to be 100% sure, right? Do you actually feel like we can help you? Because that's the most important thing to me." But then they say yes and blah, and you say why, and then you say, "All right, so when you go and think about it, what is there to think about? What are you going to think about? I'm just trying to see if I can actually help you." And then they say like, "Oh, I want to think about, I don't know, something." And you see what we did there? We moved from this layer. This is basically the onion. I see it as an onion, right? You have multiple layers of objections that people have, and you want to remove one layer every single time. So now we remove the think about it layer, and we want to get to the fear layer. So now we actually want to target what they actually fear. So for example, they might say like, "Oh, I fear this and this. I don't really know if I can help you." That's fear. Or sorry, "I don't know if you can really help me." That is fear. And you went from thinking about it to fear, so you moved one layer of the onion basically, right? um then when people say like, "Oh, I need to ask my parents or my authority or anything like that," what you then say is like, "Oh, so before you go to your business partner, do you feel like they actually want you to learn XYZ, or how do you feel?" Then of course they're going to say, "Yeah, yeah, they really want me to learn blah blah." And then you ask them, "Oh, why do you think they would feel that way?" And then what you say is, "So I don't think that is the biggest problem, right? Because you already said that they want you to learn about XYZ. So what do you think would have stopped them from helping you move forward?" And then they say like, "Oh, fear, probably fear." They're going to go to the next layer, which is fear, right? And then you handle fear, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But when people say, "I don't have money," it can come to two things as well. So when people say, "I don't have money," what you want to ask is, "I understand it's a big step, but going from not making money to 5K a month, that's kind of like a big step as well, right?" So if you had all the money in your pocket right now, would you actually take the leap? Would you take the investment? If they say yes, you ask why. If they say no, then it's uncertainty, then they have fear. So if they say no, you ask, basically need to get to the fear again, right? So you see how almost everything comes down to fear. Now, if they have no money, then we will talk about what to say as well. But for the fear, you just say, basically for the fear, you need to understand that there's four types of fear. You have me, so they don't trust themselves, they don't trust that they can actually do it. Then you have you, where they don't trust that you as the business owners, you as the people, that the person that is selling to them can't help them, enough to get them where they want to be. Then you have that they don't trust the program, or that they think the program isn't perfect for them or anything like that. And then you have the company, they don't trust the company, they don't like the branding of the company. There's some fear about, I don't know, there's some uncertainty, right? So then, with fear, what you say is, so is it fair to say that there's a little bit of uncertainty here? Because that's what I'm hearing, right? So what would you say is the uncertainty about? Is it about me? Is it about the program? Is it about yourself? Is it about my company, or what is it like? Help me understand. And then what I do is I ask them, oh, what do you feel like this uncertainty comes from? And most of the time when you try, this is what I learned from the diary of the CEO, right? Most of the time when people try and explain their own beliefs, they start to realize it's basically fucked belief. They start to realize that their belief is not true. Also, you can use stories and analogies to rewrite what they believe. You can also show testimonials. Sometimes people ask me for to see testimonials or something like that, so make sure you're able to get them those as well. And when people say I don't have money, what I say is, all right, no problem, bro, no problem. So, would you be down to have a very open conversation about money right now? Then they say yes, and what you then say is, all right, so how much money would you be able to invest right now? How much is on your bank account? And then they say XYZ, and then you just come up with a payment plan or something like that, right? So now it's time to put this into to practice. You need to start role playing, because a lot of people they learn, but they don't practice. And if you've seen my learning guides before, you know that learning is all about doing. It's all about also teaching, of course, but it's about doing and implementing. That's the most important thing. Now, before I transition to the closing mindset part, I just wanted to say, like, a lot of the objection handling scripts that I use are from a guy named Bill Walsh. So you can definitely check out his YouTube as well. He's a fucking G. Like, he's the king for sales, bro. I'm not even going to lie. So I learned a lot from him as well. So, anyways, let's go into the closing mindset part right now. So there's three mindsets that I want you to adopt. Two are actually about confidence, because I realize that confidence is everything in for a sales call. You can't even, like, if I tell you how many people told me, oh yeah, the only reason I bought from you, or the a big reason I bought from you was because you were so confident that you could help me, and I'm so glad you were so confident. That's what people tell me. So this is why people always say, oh, the best time to make a sale is to make or sorry the best time to make a sale is after you made a sale. So I really want to help you with your confidence, and how I went from not confident, like shy and all that stuff, to very confident in selling to people, very confident in my abilities to sell, and very confident in my ability to change their lives. Because people always just say, like, oh, confidence this, confidence that, but they don't explain what kind of confidence. They don't give actionable steps. I think confidence is just a very vague term used in the sales industry. I feel like there's two types of confidence. There's the confidence that you can actually sell to them, the confidence that you can change their lives, and the confidence. Oh, sorry. So the confidence that you can sell to them, and the confidence that you can change their lives. And I want to give you actionable steps for both that I either learned from my sales job or by just practicing or anything like that, right? And then I also want to give you the sales call mindset that we're going to talk about right now. So when I started selling, I had this idea that people thought that I was a bad person for selling to them. And this caused me to handle their objections way less and with way less confidence. Imagine you're on a sales call Somebody gives you an objection and you think like, oh, he doesn't want to buy from me, and I don't want to handle those objections because I feel like he's a, I don't know, I feel like he just is giving me a smoke screen or something like that, right? Now, you really like, if that's you, if that's the objection, or sorry, the limiting beliefs you have, then you need to get rid of that. You can't, you're missing out on at least 50% more sales. You're literally missing out on 50% more money. So, there's three things that I did that helped me get rid of this basically sales anxiety, you could call it. And the first thing is I stopped judging other people that were selling to me. So what I used to do is I used to think that people were there only just to make money. I used to think that people were on a sales call with me only to monetize. But then I started kind of changing my beliefs, and I started thinking like, oh, I really want to sell to these people because I actually want to help them. And when I changed my beliefs like that, I changed how I viewed, how I saw other salespeople as well, because I was like, oh, maybe they just have the same belief as me, and maybe that's why they handle my objection, not just because they want to take my money. And most of the time, this is the case, bro. So yeah, man. Also, I don't call my things a sales script anymore. Of course, in this video I called it a sales script because you don't know what like you, if I would say like, oh, I'm going to help you with a qualification guide, you wouldn't know what I was talking about. But how I see sales is I see it as a qualification guide. I see it, if are they a good fit? If yes, I know I can change their lives. If that's the case, then they will want to buy from me anyways. I have no doubt that people will buy from me, and that's why my conversion rate is so high. The only people that I'm not selling to are people that I let go on a call. Um, the third reason, and this is the most important reason, is I went from how can I make money in a sales call to how can I change their lives in a sales call? How can I really help them in a sales call? Can I actually help these people? And if I felt like I couldn't help these people, then I wouldn't sell to them. I literally let 50% of the people in my sales calls go at one time. Out of 20 people, I let 10 people go on the sales call. Why? Because I felt like they said like, "Oh, I'm a 6 on how committed I am to making this work, or I want to do this and this at the same time, and I don't really know which one I want to pick first, or oh, I I want to become a pilot." This is what, for example, somebody said. I really want to become a pilot, but I want to do coaching a little bit on the side. And I straight up told him, like, bro, I don't think you're a good fit for my program because I only want to help people that I know I can guarantee them that they can make 2K in 60 days. If they're not, if I'm not 100% convinced that I can do that, I don't want to help you. I don't want to take your money. When I started looking at it from that perspective, I was like, oh shit, I'm actually changing lives here. I'm not just making money. So every single time I wasn't focused on making money, I made more money. It's kind of funny when you think about it. But also, yeah, as I said, like this last one is very crucial. How I went from how can I make money to how can I change lives. And I want to teach you like 3 or 4 ways that I did this. So the first one we already spoke about was I started letting a lot of people go because they weren't a good fit. The second one is I started looking at testimonials before a call to increase my confidence that I could change their lives. So my testimonials, they're fucking insane, right? People telling me like almost screaming at the camera of like buy from Luca, almost like that, right? When I look at these testimonials, all I can think is how can people not buy from me? I'm doing people a disservice by not making them buy from me. Mm, the third reason is having an insane offer for the price you charge. So I genuinely believe that I have the craziest offer for the price that I charge. I think No offer is even coming close to the offer that I have. Why? Because it's so detailed. It has so many things that people need. And that's why I believe that all of my clients are making money right now, is because first of all, I believe in my program, but also it's just good. So the fourth one is just listening to people's problems on a call, because I was once on a call with a guy and he just started explaining me how how bad he felt that he wasn't making money. I just could, I felt his pain when he was telling me, "Oh, I can't make money, and I really feel fucked, and I sometimes even procrastinate." And then I'm thinking like, why am I procrastinating? I really want to make money. I could feel his pain, right? I could literally feel what he went through, and I was like, I need to make money. I need to sell to this guy right now. It's my duty to sell to him, not because I want to make money, but because I want to change his life, basically, right? So I also think that when you have this mindset of when people pay, they pay attention, this really helped me as well, because then I it's it's kind of like you're justifying why why people are paying you. So if you have this in your mind, if you have in your mind, the first thing in your mind is, I want to help these people, I want to change these people's lives, and the only reason they can do that is by buying from me, because if I give it for free, they're not paying attention to it enough. Then that really helped me as well. All right, so don't skip this part. Confidence is key to selling. The amount of times that people said, I wouldn't have bought from you if you weren't as confident, is actually insane. Like, I know I already told you this, but it's insane. Here's how I see it, right? Your confidence needs to be stronger than their doubts. If, like, the thing that's the heaviest will win. So if you have more confidence than they have doubt, you will make the sale. If they have more doubt than you have confidence, they will leave the call, they won't buy from you, and you won't change their lives. So the thing, like, the more confidence you have, the more heavier it is on on the scale, and the more doubt they have, the more heavier it is on their side. And the thing that's the heaviest, so the person that believes it the most, he will kind of like win. I see it kind of like a contest. Is the person with the most confidence versus the person with the most doubt. um yeah, the heaviest will win. So this is why I think confidence is the most important thing in sales. You could be the worst sales guy, but if you have all the confidence that you can change their lives and that you will sell to them, you will win. Now, we already covered the first type of confidence, which is your ability to change their lives. But there's a second confidence. The second confidence is your ability to sell to prospects. And this is why people always say, "Oh, the best time to make a sale is after you made a sale, right?" So, how do we increase their confidence? I believe there are two very effective ways. The first one is be prepared. Have your sales script ready, have your objections ready. Literally use the documents that I gave you as a second tab for the call, which means that now you're not scared of objections anymore, because you know how to handle them. You know exactly how to handle these objections, which means nothing is going to happen, nothing can go wrong. And the second thing is affirmations. What I personally do is, like, let me actually tell you a story. When I was at my sales job, I did a door to door sales job, right? I was in this neighborhood with very basic houses. All the people were fat, all the y- like, it was just a stereotypical fat, the fat people with watching TV at the evening, having stains on their t-shirts and all that stuff. Um, I can still remember ringing this door, and one guy just started screaming at me like a fat fuck, right? Imagine a 45 gray haired fat fuck with stains on his shirt screaming at you. Um, I started to think like, how the fuck is this the guy that is screaming at me that I'm a loser basically? And then I ring the next doorbell, and again somebody starts screaming at me and getting angry and all that stuff, getting loud, and I'm like, fuck these people. I actually started like swearing in my head to these people, and then I rang the next doorbell, and this was a person that I genuinely felt like I could sell to, but I just didn't have the beliefs that I could sell anymore. So normally I would have the belief that I could sell to these people, but right now I didn't have the belief. And so I rang on the doorbell. I called. Um, After she gave me the objection, I said, "Oh yeah, it's fine. Thank you." And I walked away. And when the door closed, I was like, "Holy fucking shit. I could have sold so easily to this person, but I didn't because I wasn't focused. I didn't believe in it." So then what I did is I started repeating affirmations to myself for 5 minutes straight. I started repeating affirmations. I'm the guy, I'm the fucking man, I can easily sell, like all these different affirmations. Then like the 5 hours or like the 6 hours before that, I sold to zero people. I had only 1 hour left, and in this 1 hour, I sold to four people. Why? All because of these affirmations. Because these affirmations caused me to have confidence in my ability to sell to these people. And so I sold to them. You're like, if you know the power of your subconscious mind, you know what I'm talking about. But, anyways, if you apply all the things that I told you about in today's video, your conversion rates will be at least 30% over time if you have the right leads. So if you have the right leads, I guarantee you, if you apply all these things, your conversion rate will be at least 30%. So if you want to take your coaching business to the next level, then I would highly recommend you book a call with me below right now to see if you're qualified for my coaching program. Here are just a couple of testimonials to see that it actually works, right? People booking calls, changing lives, productivity is going up like crazy, cold DMs, people saying 7K of value in total. So yeah, man, like if you're a coach, book a call with me below. If not, then that's fine as well. Anyways, I still want to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.